More from a practical point of view, let's look at a few low-cost businesses that somebody can get into. Food is a very, very big business today, and it's increasing by the day, and something related directly to human capital, whether it's organizing the supply of food, whether it's the preparation of food, whether it's preparation of certain specialities. There are certain homes, families, certain housewives, other people who will only specialize in one or two items, and they are so good at it that nobody can come close to them. There is a demand for it. Whatever they produce is taken, sold, and whole families can make a living out of it. This is so common that I do not want to explain these things. In the next 2 or 3 slides, I'm going to give you some ideas about reasonably low-cost businesses. Some of these things can be done also at the small end as well as at the very large end. So if you're looking at large hotel chains or McDonald's, well, that's a whole ball game. But there are even people who can do it at the family level. Photography, I already told you about these. Animals. I know some school dropouts, not even college, they didn't get to college, school dropouts. Okay, finally their parents gave up trying to get them educated, and the schools wanted to throw them out. But they had a passion for animals, animal breeding, and something related to that, domestic pets, animal boarding and training. Somebody already has a pet. The family has to go for a 2-week vacation, can't take the animal with them. There are places which will take this animal, look after it totally, make it very comfortable, and charge a particular fee for boarding that animal during that time. These kind of things are surprisingly happening even in the smaller cities, not just the metros. Training, of course, training of animals. People want things to be trained and given. Being an MC, speaking in public on a commercial basis, either being an MC for a social function, a religious function, a commercial function, the launch of a new product, an announcer, anything, the sky is the limit where comparing shows, conducting events, even starting your own event management company is concerned. Microgreen farming. Not many people have heard of this. Some people say it's controversial, but something that you can go into. I do not want once again to explain. Microgreen farming is essentially the growing even in a house or sometimes an apartment in a very small area of land using racks, growing certain types of sprouts, and not actually sprouts, they are more than sprouts but not full-fledged plants. Each crop takes hardly 15 to 20 days, and those microgreens are used in salads, in health foods. So there's a lot of this kind of thing going on. Don't go into it blindly, because a lot of websites and others can also try to mislead you for them to make money. But something that people can definitely undertake or investigate into. In Japan, this is becoming more and more progressive, both for their own consumption as well as for selling. All young people today are virtually born with the software and other skills, unlike people of our generation. So leveraging this from apps to other things to some sort of expertise in this line, there is a lot you can do. There is a lot you can do. Art, let it be commercial art, let it be fine art. You need not only sell your services in the form of being a commercial artist or a fine artist. You can also teach, you can train. So many people have made their living by training in these subjects. Interior designing. Once again, it's only the skill that's important. I have seen people who did not have any qualifications in architecture or interiors, just an interest in that subject. From then they started doing a few interiors or give a few ideas to some friends, relations. Somebody comes and sees it. They ask who did this, or that, just on a friendly basis. But no, we don't mind because we are impressed by this. Such people without any qualifications have become very good interior designers. After a time, they have contacts with carpenters, with other people who can undertake the work. Any freelancing in any area is a very good line. Vehicles, also big. A lot of people are spending vehicles after purchasing them, spending on them rather. Auto ancillaries, even vehicle consulting. Travel consultancy, adventure sports, trekking, all these things are also very, very big today. Music. I know people, I don't want to even indicate names because some of them could be recognized. Once again, a very interesting line. People whose actual education has been in some totally unrelated field, but tremendous talent for music. They have even given up employment simply to teach music or to perform because there was more money in that. Sports, one more very big field, of course depends on your ability and interest, both. Any type of teaching, let it be yoga, fitness, public speaking, self-defense. Real estate. The moment we talk about real estate and real estate brokers, by and large we have a negative reaction that they are not very honest. Absolutely correct. But then that happens in all professions. And just like you have it in other lines of business activity, even in real estate, there are the really good people. There are the really knowledgeable people. There are the really honest people. We have a panel of 2 or 3 people. No complaints at all. In fact, a lot of people have come and said, anything to do with real estate, we will only go to that person whom you recommended because the honesty. And they really looked after our interests. So there are the good people. You need not join the rat race. You can be different. You have to have the expertise for it. Repairs of certain very sophisticated gadgets where the replacement cost will be high and people would rather give repairs a chance. I know a handicapped person in this city who even today probably has been doing it for more than 3 decades. Just sits in a place despite he can't move too much. He is handicapped, but very skilled in repairs. People come there, leave it, he repairs, phones them, they come and take it, pay his fee. All he needs is a tiny little shop. I think he's done it in one small wing of his old house, that too in a remote area. But people will still go there because he has that kind of reputation for repairing things correctly. Tailoring, embroidery, upholstery, fashion design. How many people who had some misfortunes in their early life have just sat at home in their spare time, done a little bit of this kind of work and have succeeded in giving the family a comfortable life, also educating their children. Accountancy. Just because you're good in accounts does not mean you have to find a job as an accountant. You can be a freelance professional accountant. I live in an apartment. We keep the basic records of income and expenditure for the Apartment Owners Association. But every year there is a professional accountant who comes, not a chartered accountant, an accountant. He will come, take all our vouchers, other things. He will put everything in the proper form. He will even go to the chartered accountant, answer all the queries, see that the whole thing is audited, comes and gives us the final accounts because we have no time. His fee is paid. He will give a bill. He is not an employee. He is an entrepreneur to that extent. He is a consultant, a freelancer. There are, in fact, I would say that if you are really good, if you can develop your skills by mastering computer-based accounting software like Tally, for example. Let me tell you straight away, the demand for good accountants is much more than the supply, at least in this city. Much more than the supply. If you are really good, there are a lot of business people who cannot afford to have a full-time accountant. they will be needing services. Somebody who can come, just do the accounts, half an hour a day or half a day a week, something like that. Or they'll take the data home, they'll do it at home, come and report back to you. There is a huge demand for services because I keep getting calls. Can you recommend someone part-time? Can you recommend someone who will come and do it for a fee? We are not able to do it. What does it show us? Obviously, the demand is far greater than the supply. You can be an entrepreneur on this basis. You don't have to be a clerk. Tax return preparation and consultancy is a related work. Before long, people want someone who can handle service tax only, sales tax only. I remember about a year back, a good client of ours phoned us and asked us, can you recommend someone to help me with my sales tax matters? It was so difficult to find somebody. One or two people we knew, but they said, no, we can't take on new people because we are already busy. What does it tell you? Once again, there is a demand and there is no matching supply. So a good scope for someone to start with. Surveying, loss assessment, whether there is a boom in the real estate market, whether there is no boom, from time to time you need to survey properties for so many things. Sometimes there can be a dispute, right of way, or somebody says, no, you have encroached into my land. Loss assessment for insurance companies, insurance surveyors to certify damage. They get paid. There are people who make their living out of it. Handyman services. So many people in the smaller cities or even the larger cities, the children are either abroad or the children leave the smaller cities to the larger cities for employment. Older generation remains. They need sometimes people from, it's so difficult to get a simple thing like an electrician, plumber, carpenter. There are some organizations, some of them are there. I don't know how successful they have been. But handyman services is a very big thing abroad. When you have a problem, you don't generally ring up a carpenter or a plumber. You ring up these people who can give you all these services to look after the total maintenance work of an apartment. Just ring them up, they will come and get the job done for you. So handyman services is something else. It's essentially organizing. You don't have to sink crores of rupees into that business. Once again, like real estate, from time to time, there will be scams or scandals in the recruitment business. Having said that, there are people low-key sometimes, or even the high-flying executive types, who will do specialized recruitment or general recruitment. A lot of entrepreneurs complain today, we can't get good people. We need staff, we can't get staff. That's the cry of a lot of businesses and other people. If somebody is a good recruitment agent, you take some trouble. You try to vet the candidates that are available. Try to match them with a kind of demand. A lot of people do this successfully. Translation. Some years back, someone who was to receive a German pension had received some letters. That particular person had left Germany decades back and virtually forgotten German and did not even know the legal way it was framed. There was no English version that the person had received. We had to struggle to get someone who knew German to translate and just tell us what was there. If somebody can pick up, if you have got a skill in picking up new languages, if you can pick up even one good foreign language, French, German, non-English, you never know when it will come in handy for you. Okay, in the big cities, there are actual professional translators. They will translate, they will certify, they will charge a fee. Financial and investment consultancy, our line. I am happy to have helped at least 2 or 3 of my former students and interns today to become very good investment advisors, and I hope in the remaining portion of my life I am able to push a few other people also into the same line which I am familiar with. We very badly need it, because lot of these people who are in this line are nothing but people just out to go and get business with no ethics, no concern for the client, no fiduciary concept at all, putting myself in the shoes of the investor. But if young people are exposed to the right kind of guidance, the right kind of example, not just the right kind of guidance, lot of people will choose the ethical path. And in this line, actually, it is better to go for entrepreneurship than employment. When you join a very large financial services firm, all they are interested is in meeting targets. They will impose targets on you. You will have to sell the bad products. You know that they are bad products. You will have to sell the bad products to meet your targets. Why? Bad product. When I say bad, I mean bad for the investor. So the bad products for the investor are the good products for the organization because they carry the highest brokerage. So knowing that you are selling wrong things, you are forced to do it. If you are a consultant, if you are an independent financial advisor, you have the choice. I can be ethical, I need not be ethical. I can equip myself with the correct expertise, I need not do it. You have at least a choice. You may not have a choice in employment. Employment, generally, if you don't do this, you're out. It is not what you say, it is what we say. Desktop publishing, proofreading, editing, technical writing, there is a lot of demand for this. Writing manuals, writing other things, somebody who is good with language, somebody who is good in writing things in a simple manner so that the people reading it can readily understand. There is a lot of demand for these kind of services. Sourcing materials and services. Many times, people who have spent some time in employment, especially where materials and services are concerned, they know from where to get certain services, they know how to give it to them, and a lot of these people do it only on a computer at home. I had one case like this. Of course, you should have the expertise. A company needed a certain raw material. They were not easily able to find it in the quantities they wanted and the grade they wanted. A person I knew found where you can get this and give it to the company, and he made a commission in the bargain. The joke was, the company that needed it was in Hyderabad. The company that had the material was in Hyderabad. The person who did the deal was in the US. So two companies in Hyderabad did not know that one had the material, the other needed the material. The guy in the US who is adept at this, who has the expertise, he did it. He had just to sit there, put them in that, charge a fee, his brokerage was paid, his commission was paid. So these kind of things, sourcing of these kind of things, nothing. Where is your big factory or office? Nothing. You need just a computer. Gardening and landscaping services, very big business. A lot of people have no time to maintain these offices. Commercial people have no time. They give a contract. Okay, you come once in 6 months, once in 3 months, charge a fee. Nurseries, grafting rare plants, not just animals, even on the plants, flower, indoor plants, outdoor plants, all kinds of consultancy. Rooftop solar power generation, one very big area in the future, in coastal areas like this, where we have quite a lot of sunshine for many months in the year. Okay, this I'm not talking about just putting these panels on your roof. I'm talking about providing these services, providing the right advice, providing what is the best thing, even if there is some sort of liaisoning work with the electricity board, doing all that, getting the paperwork, helping the clients, doing it on a turnkey basis. Now, people like me, I'm actively toying with the idea of having solar panels on the roof of my office, because I have now observed that for a large number of hours in the day, there is direct sunlight. But I want someone who can handle the whole thing, because I don't have the time for it. So I'm just trying to find somebody reliable to do it, and then I give them the contract. There is demand for this, and this is going to become more and more, and this is all very good. This is all a very environment friendly. Photocopying, book binding, I think I don't have to explain much of it. Child care, babysitting, creches, kindergartens. residential properties, people who are not in flats, they are still in houses, at least in this area, so much of education, so many educational institutions, providing paying guest services, providing rooms. One lady I know, living alone, quite aged, the children were concerned about her. So what they did was, their old house, they did it up a little bit and provided 2 separate sets of rooms. In that they are putting postgraduate medical students. So they earn some money, and at least there is somebody with some medical background very close to this old lady. In case of some problem, they can render some meaningful help. I think a very intelligent way of doing it, of showing some enterprise, leveraging an existing property. Fitness, grooming, same thing like yoga, other things. These are all just some ideas. These are all not a comprehensive list. Just some ideas. There can be, you can probably expand this to another 10 to 20 pages. It all depends. What I'm saying is, I'm giving you just a few suggestions about businesses that can be done if you have an interest in any of these areas without investing large sums of money. In the context of investment, Warren Buffett said, it is not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. Same thing with small businesses. Over a period of time, you can get extraordinary results with small businesses.